Yeah, hi everyone. This is a simple demo for RCA operation console, how you can create an RCA agent. Sorry, the agent is already created. So how you can create an RCA here and how you can able to export this as a report directly. We have two ways of analysis. Everything will be detailed here. So I'm Bhaskar who's going to continue this full session with you. And this operation console will be shared with you along with the link and how to operate this video along with it. So basically, you will have the access already. If you don't have, you can request access, but basically this access console will already be there and your operator email, everything will be provided for you. So once we have invited, you will get the invite code, you can paste your code and you can proceed with the sign up directly. So that's how the operational is. So let me go back to the sign in and I'm just using my ID to log in directly, which has the root access also. So admin can able to give the access, then that admin pages will be discussed in detail in later parts. So what are the agents and what are the RCS and what are created, the management side covering up and what are the inviters, this invites and provisioning. So one person will be given with this full admin control directly. So this is the initial page of it. And all the RCA cases created by every users will be visible to the admin. And for individual users, their RCS will be visible here directly. So to go with, we are just going to create one new RCA. I'm just clicking new RCA. And this RCA is about conveyable damage, for example. And I'm attaching the exact asset ID out of it. The name will be varying depending upon industries. I'm just going to name it as CVB001 and what are the initial problem statements, etc. things which we attached. And sometimes files we need to attach. The attached file section is given for it. We made one particular document to do what are the files you need to attach, and you can attach as a single file also covering up everything. So this is the document basically. So this document, I just made it for the conveyor belt failure investigation itself. So first section is your executive summary, where you can losses you mention maintain, about which a very simple summary and report. What are the, this you can utilize it directly. I'm just pasting here. So this gives you the initial problem of the analysis and every pasting will be reflecting here. Followed by the section 2 is the asset information. So in the asset information, you can attach this following ideas, but this can also be a particular document of 5 or 6 pages where you can tag about what is the asset about, what are the, who is the manufacturer, what is the installation date, what is the meter specifications. For example, here it's length and width based upon other components. You can choose other parameters. Finally, what's your operating speed? This will be for conveyor belt, but for other operation, other equipments, this will be varying as other parameters also. Same way, I'm going for the capacity rated materials, lump size, and operating schedules. So this will be completely varying and you can attach this as a separate document also. I can mean that every section can be attached as a individual document. Section 3 is the failure description. So here is the place which you are detailing about what has happened. A few examples given here. You can read here. At approximately 1342, operator reported a repetitive impact noise. First thing is the noise. Second thing is the tracking drift. And third thing, which is at 4:02 p.m., the belt misalign happened. So this operation intelligence gives the idea of what might happen exactly. So this is a format we are providing so you can attach based upon your equipment also. And along with this opening measured approximately how much the signs of abrasion and whatever the other things you had noticed, you can put it up everything in the section 3 failure description itself. Third thing is the production impact. These options, production impact is not and mandatory. Will give the AI any section much is not a mandatory. Analyze things rather than just going with the generic items. So what is the production impact? Production loss? What is the downtime? What is the estimated financial impact? What is the delayed shipment? What is the recovery time? Much more things. Whatever you want to attach, you can attach for this reference. And the history of failures is also recommended very cool way. So we are just recommending what is the existing failure record for the same belt or for the same item. In this case, it's a conveyor belt. It might be in 2023, it might be in 2024, it might be 2017, 2016. From whensoever the date is purchased, you can attach the existing failure record. Just make the summary out of it. You don't need to attach the really detailed information. You can attach them, what is it about and why, what is the failure record of it. So the failure record is the one which gives the idea what happened before. Then comes into the section 6. So this is the main section where what has to be allocated against each, where you can mention about failures, reason, And for each of the existing failure, along with it, the maintenance work order you had already carried forward. So this helps to align what are the maintenance activities you have done so far and what are the major observations. So in this failure record, you need to, in this work order record, you need to maintain three major activities. First is, what is it about and did you observe any abnormalities or any recommendations has been stated forward? Any technical notes has been given or what is affected out of it? For example, here downtime is estimated, here recommendation is given. Same way, based upon the work order, just give a 3-line summary. We estimate only for 3-line summary to not overload with a lot. So then coming to the section of data. So this is about availability of the handover nodes. If the operator wants to give any handover to the next operator, if it is noted down, you can make that noted down, obviously. So if the noted down may be not available for the continuous days, so in this sense, we consider you can give it for a weekly basis, hourly basis, or whatever the monthly basis also, whatever the availability is for. So these are the data which is covered much given detailed here. Finally, going to the section 8, which are operator statements. This is optional in nature if you have collected any operating statements along with which is not covered in the handover notes. You can cover the section 8 part and reliability testing and reliability monitoring if you have performed anything from the RE engineer. So those notes also we are recommending to attach along with it. So make everything as a simple summary out of it. We don't need a very detailed description of the reports. And coming to the environmental section where you can mention about the temperature, recorded temperature, what is the rainfall events, and their humidity, what is the amount helps of to analyze dust level, what is the exact issue during that environment which had happened. Finally, coming to belt insulation history and inspection records. So this is how we are operating. And additionally, since it is not a single part RCA, we need to know about the spare parts out of it. So which are dependent in nature, which helps you to lock your degree of freedom or anything else which you can attach as a section 3 and section 13 completely where you can mention about if any spare parts had been failed. And that record is also available. You can make it because one of the spare parts failure can induce the failure in another spare part. So to understand those causes, also we recommend you to keep the spare parts record out of this context. Finally, going to the material characteristics and timeline of events. So material characteristics helps you to understand what is the load which is carried by the conveyor belt in this sense here, same way for other things also. So based upon the mechanical properties, it helps to understand what is the material within the limits or outside the limits. Those criteria and constitutions can be taken forward. And what is the complete timeline of events? Failure of record timeline, you can just give the complete end-to-end changes here. So these 15 sections, you can skip out the sections which is not much relevant to the record, but we may request users to keep as many sections as possible and keep much summary out of it directly. So this is how the initial phase of analysis we're going to begin with, which gives the previous understanding of the machine directly and just choosing the file. Along with it, if you have some photos to attach, you can attach those photos also. As of now, I'm collecting a sample reference from the internet directly. So let me go to the image section. Let me pick up this photo. Make sure that your photo is much clean, gives the better understanding. You can copy the image. You don't need to download even and paste here. This will automatically paste it and you can run the pre-AI analysis, which is going to give you the 4 questions. First thing is the actual problem statement based upon the document and initial problem you had attached, and the status will be started to streaming directly to type here. Along with it, your operational effect or impact, the gaps and unresolved based upon on the above question and what are the suggested follow-ups you need to take. So this will take a moment and you can see here based upon the attached thing, it is returning the all 4 datas. So you can see here CV03, we mentioned CV03 and experienced longitudinal mechanical spacing failure approx 210 millimeter. These things has been taken from the document actually. And the 4th June we have mentioned in the document as well as the initial content we have mentioned here. Then failure caused a 7.5. And what is the operational impact, which is based upon the sections I had given before. And what are the gaps? The major gaps in the sense of mechanical splice, torque, no root cause analysis, or the permanent corrective actions was documented. And what are the previous findings it had taken? Everything is starting point before making any analysis. So you can approve or if you can want to regenerate, you can regenerate. Even you can edit this. This is editable in nature, you can see. You can undo this also. Then approve and log the findings. So once you approve, you are open to create one workspace for you. This workspace has the entire RCA in detail. So this workspace takes care of all the A steps which needs to be taken care of inside. So let's wait for a while. Done. Now the workspace is created for you. So the problem statement, incidents, everything is locked for the analysis directly. You can see it. These are all the things we have already approved, and attached images also available. You can download if you want again, or you can leave it as it is. This comes up with additional more questions. This is open for you to fill it up, or you can skip it out. And there are two modes. Actually, we are supporting for these are the analysis of agents. First is the 5I analysis agent. Fishbone agent, FTA agent, Pareto analysis, timeline analysis, equipment analysis, finally report generation. We have two methods. One is the human manual way, where you can just go with every step. You can create one hypothesis. Again, you can go with one step, create one hypothesis. Same way, you can just go and create continuous amount of hypothesis, or else you can go with the full analysis. So if you click full analysis, this is an automated full RCA pipeline. Here there are two things happening. One is the AI will create for the first 5 weeks analysis. It will create one Y and another AI based upon these documents. We'll answer that one of the 5Y, or we can give the suggested output answer and it can able to fill it. Same way for the FTA, Pareto, timeline, equipment, all the 8 analysis will be carried forward in a single steps. So you can see here what happens is data collector validates the incident, 5Y drills the root cause, it is auto answered, all the 10 steps in the fishbone Ishkuwa diagram is answered, FTA, Pareto, timeline, everything will analyze in the parallel. Finally, the RCAs will give you can view what is happening here directly, which agent is running. Start automation. It will take at least 10 to 15 minutes to complete the entire activity. So we will wait for a while. You can see I'm selected a custom cost progressor. So everything, what it is answering and what is happening will be streamed for you. First Y is done, second Y is happening. So let's wait for another 5 to 10 minutes. So you can see the second Y is answered. Now based upon second Y, third Y will come. 5-step third Y. Then the third Y, our another AI agent will answer this third Y. Dash standard work instruction. So this will be continuous iterations. Let's wait for another 10 minutes. Now the 5I analysis agent completed all its steps. We come to a conclusion. So Fishbone has almost few steps. So each step based upon the higher confidence as well as AI's agent's knowledge, those steps will be carried forward. Out of each agent, what is the step carried forward is also visible outdated to you. So you don't need to worry what is happening. So out of the 10 steps, it can able to skip out any of the steps if it is not required. So you can see for the machine belt mistacking due to the roller misalignment, this is happening in the step 6. So based upon analysis type, the steps will be varying and AI can decide how many steps it needs to be taken forward to complete the analysis. So if you're doing this manually, sometimes it would not never select always the high. You can see the medium as sometimes responsibility. The reason is it should align to the existing configuration. So if step 7 is answered, the step 8 will carry it forward and give us the next question, right? So based upon step 8, it can decide is that the high is the one I should select. So this is how the interval operation works. Or low is the what are the agents sometimes done? And what are the answers also? Let's wait. So step 9 for the fishbone is done. So finally, the step 10 is also done along with it. So basically, without AI, this might take almost each day for each day for each day, or more than a day for individual analysis. This is like a two-person reviewer. One is the engineer who is going to draft and give it to the agent. Another one is the person who is from the managerial background or who is from the technical, who takes care of both tech and management part, will be the one who is answering those questions. So the two persons interaction communication, we had established it as a multi-agent protocols here. So FT is done. Now going to the Pareto. Excuse me. Certain analysis takes certain amount of time based upon how complex it is and what is the manual time recommended. And it is like two persons interaction. So one person may take time to understand and respond, but you can just leave it for 10 minutes so you can see the response. So almost all the analysis is done, and the reporting agent is making the report based upon all the 5 analyses which had carried forward. Yep. Now the entire analysis is completed where you can see it is mentioned. So I'm just closing and putting it to the review. So let me go and see what other things happen step by step. So you can see either you can just choose whatever the diagrams you want to make it so. So let's go to the 5-way analysis. So the first step of 5-way, why did the longitudinal mechanical splice on the conveyor is mentioned. So it has chosen an answer, and what is the explanation given for the answer, you can check in the chain. And what based upon the before question, the next question was created and the agent, another agent has answered. Same way for each step, you can see every agent fightings are created. So you can export each download it as a page directly into your required format, and you can give us a complete report of what is the 5 YEAR analysis. Let's come to that section finally, and this covers the 5 by second one was the fishbone diagram. So fish in the fishbone diagram, we are covering about manpower, machine, methods, material measurements, and enrollment, and what is the incident about effect of the incident, and major categories of this incident. So based upon that, for the manpower, insufficient training on this mechanical splice, lack of supervisor during the critical splice. These are the activities you which are reportedly measured actually what is the impact splice, out of it. Manpower is a higher impact on the manpower decided, add other and secondarily other if impact, AI is missed out this something, impact is given by the weightage 85%, 90%, 80%. And what is the impact on materials, impact on measurements, impact on environment, impact on methods, and impact of machine. So these 6 methods given by the category you can see able to see here in the fishbone diagram analysis. So this is what I decided. Finally, FTA report and analysis. So FTA might take a while on refresh screens. So you can click the chat console also where the analysis has been already happened. So let us come back it after a while. So going ahead the Pareto analysis. So inside the you can just hide the content. So inside the Pareto analysis, each steps it's not required. So just skip off the Pareto analysis directly. If you want to perform the Pareto analysis, you can just click the run analysis button here. So once you click here, it will take a minute or two to complete the full Pareto analysis, and it will give you the full page. Let's wait for a minute. So this is not required for this conveyor damage as it decided it. But if you want to run the Pareto analysis, you can also run accordingly. So let's wait for a minute to check how the Pareto analysis comes up here. Yeah, superb. Now the Pareto analysis has been done. I'm just saving the vital view for the next time. So where you can see what is the progress, failure things has been calculated, and the graph for that systematic provisioning and insulation variation frequency and cumulative frequency out of it, as well as the final record of temperatures. So based upon the above chart, each and every detailed view will be available for you. So the top 4 on the Pareto analysis is systematic process failure. Lack of CAPA swap updates is one of the frequency of 20. And you can edit this also every time you can ask an agent to edit it. So this is about the A's idea to represent the same way. So this is a trivial analysis. So going to the timeline analysis. So timeline is also stripped off here. If you want, you can generate it again with the analysis. Same way for the equipment and other steps also. Equipment will be available. So for the equipment analysis, this what is the equipment, crude distillation, and the unit tree, and what about this replacement strings? What are the things used to be happened? RPN scores. So everything will be available here. Finally, going to the report section. So report will have this, each steps, whatever we had carried forward before it. So those things will be available. You can download in Excel, Word, PDF, or combines a full HTML page and full Word page. So these are the available options. Full Word in the sense the entire complete thing will be there and you can sign and approve the steps. So you can see here, data collection validation, what are the gaps and unresolved questions, suggested follow-ups. This is the first one data collector we have decided, right? Step 2, why 5y is 1, 2, 3, 4, and last y skip it because of unrequirement. You can go and add the y there and you can reflect it directly here. So step 3, fishbone analysis. So what are the skills, man? Design, method, a good representation way for you. Step 5, Pareto analysis we had carried forward. So those are the systematic process failures, to the root cause installation and the lagging. Environmental degradation for the problem, everything will be and there. The confirmed root cause you can add upon. Finally, what are the corrective actions you should take and CAPA validation audit checklist. You can able to start editing that directly based upon what is your another additional requirements. So this is the complete report. You can save the report and you can download it based upon the requirement. This is individual pages as well as you can download as a full Word document here. So this is all about the RC Ops. Thank you so much.